$2,489. That is exactly how much money Jeff Bezos makes every single second. And that's not just while he's on the clock either. Jeff is making more money every second of his life than the average American worker makes in an entire week. So where does a man like Jeff Bezos keep this kind of dough? Well, we can assure you it is definitely not as simple as throwing it in a savings account or hiding it under his mattress. If billionaires like Jeff Bezos don't have a solid and diverse plan to store their wealth, then their net worth will waste away as inflation rises. With inflation rising at an average of 2% per year, if Jeff Bezos were to have his entire net worth in cash just sitting around, he would lose $3,640 million to inflation every single year. So it's pretty clear why the world's wealthiest individuals prefer to diversify their wealth amongst real estate, stocks, business ventures, and trusts. Oh, and don't forget the over-the-top purchases that they make every now and then for fun. So sit back and relax while we show you exactly how the world's billionaires spend, hold, and maximize their money. The top 15 highest paid CEOs in the tech industry have a combined annual income of $83 billion. That amount of money exceeds the market value of entire countries. Jeff Bezos is more than 570 times richer than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is one of the highest paid movie stars of all time. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, is worth $91.9 billion and makes the average US yearly wage in roughly 2 minutes. That's the equivalent of him making over $5 million every single day of his life since birth. Warren Buffett is sitting on a smooth $87.5 billion, Elon Musk's wealth has skyrocketed to $155 billion, and Bill Gates has built up a fortune of $120 billion. To catch up to these business moguls, a person making the average wage in the US would have to work 40 hours a week for, and you won't believe me when I tell you, 2 million years. So you get the point. These titans of business are incomprehensibly wealthy. But the more money that these individuals accumulate, the trickier it gets to store and preserve. I guess that old saying, more money, more problems, was true after all. If you've ever been to a bank in the US, then you've probably seen that little sign saying FDIC insured up to $250,000. Well, the typical bank account is only insured up to that $250,000 in case of major bank failures, and that's a whole lot lower than several $billion. This forces the world's billionaires to come up with a sound plan to protect, maintain, and grow their wealth long term. The most important part of this strategy is something you've probably heard of: diversification. In your average low-income blue-collar household, 75% of the entire household asset value is spread across just 3 things: liquid assets like money in the bank, residence expenses, usually rent, and vehicles. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the higher up you go in your yearly income, the less reliance you have on these 3 expenditures. For billionaires, cash and liquid assets make up just a tiny fraction of their entire net worth, and there is basically no reliance on a retirement pension. Once you break through the $1 million annual income threshold, it is an entirely new ballgame. At this point, real estate portfolios, stocks, and business ventures begin to take over as the largest allocation of wealth. Let's take a look at investing in the stock market. Warren Buffett is considered by many to be the most successful investor to ever live. This investing guru was living off of just $50,000 a year until he started amassing a fortune through investing in the stock market. He would dump all of his cash into stable, properly managed companies that he believed had good value and high growth potential. For example, Buffett once bought $1.3 billion of shares in the company Coca-Cola in 1988. This may seem like a lot of money now, but keep in mind that was in '88. The current market value of that investment today is around $18 billion. The key principle that Buffett followed here, along with many other billionaires, is buy and hold for the long run. Ronald Wayne, the third founder of Apple, sold his 10% stake in Apple for just $800 decades ago. If he would have just held for the long run, he would currently be worth well over $100 billion today. So just remember, buy and hold. Now, if billionaires aren't investing in other companies, then they are probably starting their own. Bezos started Amazon, Buffett started Berkshire Hathaway, and Elon Musk started Tesla, SpaceX, and countless other companies. Even well-known millionaires get in on the action of starting businesses. For instance, Jessica Alba sells eco-friendly baby products, and Akon owns a diamond mine in South Africa. This whole founding a company thing is a lot of work though, so sometimes billionaires like to just skip the startup step as a whole and simply purchase businesses. Roman Abramovich, a Russian billionaire, bought the Chelsea Football Club. Mark Zuckerberg bought a whole slew of companies like Instagram, Oculus, and WhatsApp. And we could go on with this list forever. If these billionaires have some of their hard-earned money left over after investing in stocks and business ventures, then a lot of times they'll put some money into trust funds. The premise behind a trust is that you can move your cash out of your estate. 2 main benefits come from this, and they're pretty big ones: less taxes and more privacy. Billionaires can set up trust funds for charity organizations or even family members, hence the term trust fund baby. So by now it's probably clear to see that billionaires never have and likely never will keep their money in one place. You will never find a single savings account at the bank that holds upwards of $1 billion. Even if the banks would allow this, no billionaire would ever do such a crazy thing because they know that their fortune will be wasted unless they put their money to work for them. But if all their money is sitting as investments, how do billionaires make regular purchases like food and gas? Do they always have cash on them, or some kind of huge credit card? Or does their billionaire status alone pay for these things? Let's take a look at none other than billionaire Bill Gates as an example. When the co-founder of Microsoft was in an interview, he was asked this question: how much cash do you have on you right now? Bill gave quite the shocking answer. Gates replied with, "I'm carrying one crisp $100 bill." And his reasoning behind this actually makes a ton of sense. Gates says it's all about his reputation. He stated that countless random people have come up and asked him for $1 million. Obviously his answer was no, but to ensure that he isn't obligated to just hand out money, he only keeps a small amount of cash in his wallet at one time. This way, even if he was willing to give out money to some random person, he wouldn't have much to give them. Depending on the amount of the purchase, he could pay with a debit card that is linked to a small checking account. For the more expensive things, he'll just use a credit card. And for the crazy expensive things, he uses a wire transfer. With all of this said, we have to keep in mind that these billionaires probably aren't out buying their own groceries. That job is for their assistants. However, they will buy their own dinner and pump their own gas. And when they do this, they will break out their elite credit card. Having a massive net worth and a huge reputation, the banks will approach these CEOs and offer them an exclusive credit card program. Whenever they join this program, a fancy credit card is not all that they get. No, they get a lot more. For signing with the bank, whichever bank it may be, these billionaires are given a long list of bonuses and luxuries. Of these elite credit cards, none of these are more acclaimed than the American Express Centurion card. If you are one of the lucky few that are even eligible to apply for this card, then you can expect to pay $10,000 for the initiation fee and another $5,000 for the yearly upkeep. And you'd have to pay all this before you even make your first purchase with the card. But this may be worth it considering that American Express goes all out for its clients. Upon purchasing this card, you can expect to have a 24/7 concierge program, a private suite membership at LAX, $1,000 in yearly credit to spend any way you please, automatic superior status at any hotel, and that's just scratching the surface. Though this is the go-to choice for billionaires, there are many other banks that the wealthy rely on too. The most pristine individuals usually have a checking account at any of these 10 banks. If you're into movies, then there is no doubt that you've heard the term offshore account. Keeping your money in a bank outside of your home country isn't actually against the law if it's done for an official reason. Whether it's praised or not, many of the world's richest store some of their money in these offshore or international accounts. Throughout history, Swiss banks have been one of the more popular choices for those who are evading taxes. This was due to the European nations' privacy laws in which they barely documented anything about who these accounts belong to. However, Switzerland has agreed to give the information that they have to foreign governments, ending any possibilities for people to break the law. Though it gets a bad rap, there are actually a lot of legal advantage to having an international bank account, like international investing, profiting off of foreign currency exchange rates, minimal taxes, and making your money even more secure. For example, if the US goes into a recession but your money is in a whole nother country, then your wealth is safe. So all this talk of offshore bank accounts has probably made you think, which country should I keep my money in when I become a billionaire? Well, the Cayman Islands are known for having the best tax benefits. Singapore is also known to be a safe, stable option. And Switzerland is known for their privacy and protection. But no matter the amount of money or where it's kept, there will always be risk to storing your money. This is why the richest individuals in the entire world, from Elon Musk to Kylie Jenner, invest a lot of their money into real estate. Real estate is known to be one of the safest investments that one can make. This is because homes are far less volatile and have a lower risk than something like the stock market. Real estate has had a steady upward trend over long periods of time, and also it's kind of hard to steal a house compared to a purse. And let's just face the fact that there is no way a billionaire is going to turn down a luxurious mansion or a magnificent penthouse. Not convinced? Let's take a look at some of the wealthiest people's houses. Bill Gates' lakeside home in Washington, costing $120 million, is complete with an underwater sound system. Larry Ellison's $200 million home with inspiration of Japanese culture has 10 buildings, a man-made lake, and a koi pond. Or we could take a look at Ken Griffin's properties on Billionaires Row that have the most amazing views you can imagine. Mark Zuckerberg has come to own 10 properties, from a normal, modest home to his own Hawaiian estate. Oh, and that's not counting the ones outside of the US either. So, as you can see, the majority of the world's most elite invest most of their money. However, that does not mean that they aren't willing to drop some serious cash on the luxuries in life. There is no doubt that every single year these billionaires spend hundreds of millions of dollars on things like supercars, yachts, vacations, private jets, designer clothing, and one of the most important things, charity. As of right now, Forbes has stated that there is a total of 2,095 billionaires. Will you be billionaire number 2096? If you were, what would you do with your money? I hope your answer is to invest it, but who am I to tell you what to do? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos on our channel. As always, this has been Luxury Lab, and we will catch you in the next one.